The quantum scanner's hum filled the observatory's dome as Dr. Sarah Chen adjusted the calibration for the thousandth time. Outside, the Atacama Desert's night sky blazed with stars that seemed close enough to touch, yet remained stubbornly silent. 30 years of searching for extraterrestrial signals had yielded nothing but cosmic white noise and the occasional false hope of a pulsar. Another night of listening to nothing. Marcus Rodriguez, her research partner, appeared beside her with 2 steaming cups of coffee. His weathered face carried the same mix of exhaustion and determination she felt in her bones. Sarah accepted the coffee without taking her eyes off the readings. "Not nothing," she said, pointing to a pattern on her holoscreen. "Look at this gap in the background radiation." Marcus leaned closer, his brow furrowing. "That's not possible. Even the void between galaxies has some form of quantum noise." "Exactly." Sarah pulled up a 3-dimensional map of their observations over the past month. "And it's not just one location. Look at these coordinates." The map revealed dozens of perfectly spherical regions of absolute silence scattered throughout nearby space. Each sphere was exactly the same size, arranged in a pattern too precise to be natural. "They're like..." Marcus trailed off, his coffee forgotten. "Dead zones," Sarah finished. "Or more accurately, dampening fields. Someone or something is actively suppressing certain regions of space." The revelation hit them both at the same time. They hadn't failed to detect alien civilizations because there weren't any. They'd failed because someone had deliberately made detection impossible. Within hours, Sarah had the entire team assembled in the observatory's conference room. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, their quantum mechanics expert, examined the data with trembling hands. "These fields aren't just blocking electromagnetic radiation," she announced. "They're dampening quantum fluctuations themselves. The technology required for this, it's beyond anything we can imagine." "But why?" Marcus asked, voicing the question on everyone's minds. "Why go to such lengths to create these dead zones?" Sarah had been wondering the same thing, but something else bothered her even more. "The real question is, why are we able to see them at all? If someone has technology this advanced, why can we detect the dampening fields?" The answer came 3 days later, when Sarah noticed something odd about the quantum scanner's detection pattern. The dead zones weren't completely silent anymore. Microscopic fluctuations appeared at regular intervals, like a heartbeat. "It's degrading," Yuki confirmed after analyzing the new data. "The dampening field network is failing. That's why we can see it now." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. How long has it been there? How long have we been contained? Marcus finished. "Maybe since we first started looking at the stars." The team worked through the night, gathering more data as the dampening fields continued to weaken. At dawn, Sarah stood at the observatory's window, watching the sun rise over the desert mountains. The world looked the same as it always had, but everything had changed. Humanity wasn't alone in the universe. They were being deliberately isolated. The question was, by whom and why? The answer arrived unexpectedly at 3:47 a.m. local time, when every quantum scanner in the facility suddenly spiked. A signal, impossibly clear and strong, broke through the weakening dampening fields. It wasn't a random transmission or leaked communication. It was a message specifically directed at Earth. Sarah and her team gathered around the main console as the message decoded itself through their quantum processors. The language was unlike anything they'd ever seen, but the mathematical patterns underlying it were universal. Within hours, they had a rough translation. "To the inhabitants of Sol 3, the message began. The containment protocol that has hidden your world from the greater galaxy is failing. Soon, you will be exposed to civilizations and technologies far beyond your current understanding. This message serves as both warning and apology." Sarah read the words aloud to her stunned team, her voice growing stronger with each line. "Your species was contained because you represent an anomaly in the natural development of intelligent life. While other civilizations progress along predictable paths, embracing pure logic and abandoning their chaotic origins, humanity persistently combines rational advancement with unpredictable intuition. You maintain primitive emotional responses alongside sophisticated technology. You wage wars while reaching for the stars. Marcus let out a low whistle. They make it sound like we're dangerous. We are, Yuki said quietly. To them, at least, we're chaos they can't predict or control. Sarah continued reading. The galaxy beyond your containment field is ordered, logical, and stable. Civilizations advance along carefully calculated paths. But now, that order faces an unprecedented threat. As the containment field fails, you will have a choice. Remain isolated on your world, or emerge into a galaxy that fears your unique nature. The message ended with a series of coordinates, locations where the dampening fields were weakest. Sarah looked at her team, seeing the same mix of emotions on their faces that she felt. Fear, excitement, anger at being contained, and an overwhelming sense of possibility. They tried to keep us quiet, she said, her voice firm. They tried to keep us from looking too closely at the stars. But now their perfect system is failing, and they're afraid. What do we do? Marcus asked. Sarah turned back to the quantum scanner, where new data showed the dampening fields continuing to degrade. We do what humanity has always done. We adapt, we explore, and we show them that chaos isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. As the sun rose over the Atacama Desert, Sarah Chen and her team began preparations to break humanity's long isolation. The stars had never been silent. They had been silenced. But now, finally, Earth would have its chance to join the cosmic conversation. And perhaps, though they didn't know it yet, the galaxy needed humanity's chaos more than it needed order. The United Nations Security Council chamber had never been so crowded. 3 months after Dr. Sarah Chen's discovery of the dampening fields, representatives from every nation on Earth sat shoulder to shoulder, their attention fixed on the holographic display floating above the central podium. The degradation is accelerating, Sarah explained, manipulating the display to show the weakening pattern of the containment field. At current rates, complete failure will occur within 6 months. Admiral Helena Torres of the newly formed United Earth Defense Initiative leaned forward, and we're certain these coordinates in the message indicate weak points in the field. Yes, Sarah confirmed. We've detected increasing quantum fluctuations at each location. They're like cracks in a dam. That's assuming this isn't a trap, General Wei-Chan interjected. These beings have contained us for centuries, possibly millennia. Why warn us now? Before Sarah could respond, the chamber's lights flickered. The holographic display distorted, then reformed into a new image, a 3-dimensional figure that seemed to be made of crystalline geometrical shapes, constantly shifting and reforming. Because we require your assistance, the figure spoke, its voice resonating through the chamber's speakers in perfectly accented English. Chaos erupted as security teams rushed to protect their leaders, but Sarah stepped closer to the hologram, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. You're one of them, the architects of the containment field. I am Observer Prisma of the Galactic Confederation, the crystalline being confirmed, and we are running out of time. Admiral Torres pushed past her security detail. You contain us for countless generations, then suddenly need our help. The audacity. The containment was not meant as punishment, Prisma interrupted. It was preservation. The hologram expanded, showing images of distant worlds and alien civilizations. Each seemed more advanced than the last. Cities that spanned continents, ships that folded space itself, beings that had evolved beyond physical form. Every intelligent species follows a predictable path of development, Prisma explained. They abandon biological inefficiencies, embrace pure logic, and ultimately achieve technological singularity, except humans. Sarah watched the images, noting how each civilization seemed more sterile, more uniform than the last. We didn't follow your pattern. You refused to abandon your primitive aspects. Prisma confirmed. You maintain tribal loyalties while building global networks. You wage war while developing medicine. You cherish individual chaos while pursuing collective advancement. You are unpredictable. You're afraid of us, General Chan realized. We were, Prisma admitted. Your species represents a dangerous variable in an otherwise perfectly ordered galaxy. But now, the hologram flickered again, showing new images that made everyone in the chamber gasp. Worlds of crystal and light were being consumed by something that defied description. A spreading darkness that seemed to devour both matter and energy. Advanced civilizations, with all their perfect logic and transcendent technology, crumbled before it. The Void Protocol, Prisma explained, a weapon designed to target advanced technological civilizations. It uses our own logical perfection against us. Our defenses, based on pure mathematics and predictable patterns, are useless. Sarah's mind raced. That's why you need us. Because we're unpredictable. Your hybrid nature, your ability to combine intuitive leaps with logical progression, may be our only hope. The containment field wasn't just to protect the galaxy from you. It was to protect you from us, to preserve your unique development until it was needed. Admiral Torres laughed bitterly. So we're your backup plan, your primitive secret weapon. We are offering you a choice, Prisma stated. Remain isolated as the galaxy falls, or help us fight a threat that our perfect logic cannot comprehend. The chamber erupted in debate. Some leaders demanded reparations for centuries of containment. Others saw an opportunity to advance human technology by centuries. Still others wanted to refuse all contact, to let the perfect civilizations face the consequences of their actions. Sarah stepped closer to the hologram. This Void Protocol, who created it? Prisma's crystalline form dimmed slightly. We don't know. It emerged from the spaces between civilizations, from the chaos we thought we had eliminated. Perhaps it is the galaxy's response to our pursuit of perfect order. And now you need chaos to fight chaos, Sarah mused. She turned to address the chamber. They're right about one thing. Humanity is unique. We never abandoned our contradictions. We built on them. Maybe that's not a flaw. Maybe it's our greatest strength. Admiral Torres studied the images of falling civilizations. If we agree to help, we do it our way. No more containment. No more treating us like primitive beings to be preserved or controlled. The containment field will fail completely within 6 months, Prisma confirmed. Already, other species are detecting your world. Some see you as saviors, others as a threat to be eliminated before you can fully emerge. What you become, what role you play in the galaxy, that choice must be yours. Sarah watched the holographic stars spin above them, each one now holding new possibility and new danger. Humanity had spent centuries reaching for the stars, never knowing they were deliberately kept out of reach. Now the barriers were falling, and Earth would have to decide: remain in isolation, or step onto a galactic stage where their very nature made them both saviors and threats. We'll need to prepare, General Chan said, already thinking tactically. If hostile species detect us before we're ready. We've been preparing our whole history, Sarah interrupted. Every war, every peace treaty, every scientific breakthrough, while maintaining our primitive emotions. It's all led to this. We're ready precisely because we're not perfect. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity wasn't just joining the galactic community. They were about to show the most advanced civilizations in existence why chaos, emotion, and unpredictability were not weaknesses to be overcome, but strengths to be embraced. The stars were waiting, and this time they would hear humanity's voice in all its beautiful, chaotic glory. The observation deck of the UES Prometheus offered a perfect view of humanity's first interstellar triumph and its greatest challenge. Dr. Sarah Chen stood beside Admiral Torres, watching as construction drones swarmed around the massive quantum relay station being built at the edge of the solar system. The station represented everything humanity had learned in the 2 months since first contact, a blend of advanced alien technology and crude human ingenuity. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Sarah said, watching the station's crystalline arrays catch the distant sunlight. Prisma's people thought it was impossible to combine their quantum technology with our primitive electromagnetic systems. "They think a lot of things are impossible," Torres replied, a hint of pride in her voice. "That's why they're losing." On the deck's main display, red markers showed the advance of the Void Protocol across the galaxy. Entire civilizations had fallen silent, their perfectly ordered systems consumed by the mysterious force. But the quantum relay station offered hope, a way to detect and track the threat using methods its creators had never anticipated. "Dr. Chen," Marcus's voice crackled through the comm system. "We're picking up something strange through the relay." Sarah and Torres rushed to the bridge, where Marcus and a team of human and alien scientists huddled around the quantum displays. The readings made Sarah's blood run cold. It's not just consuming technology, she realized, studying the data. It's learning from it, evolving. The bridge's holographic projector activated, and Prisma's crystalline form appeared. "This confirms our worst fears. The Void Protocol isn't simply a weapon, it's an adaptive system, using the very perfection of our technology against us." "Show me the pattern analysis," Sarah demanded. The display shifted, revealing the spread of the Void Protocol across infected systems. Where advanced alien civilizations fell within hours, less developed worlds showed stronger resistance. "Look at this." Marcus pointed to a particular dataset. "The more standardized and efficient a civilization's technology, the faster they fall. But worlds with mixed development, with redundant systems and inefficient backups, they're harder to infect." Torres finished, "because they're not perfect." Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. "That's why Earth is so important. We never fully abandoned any technology. We still use combustion engines alongside fusion drives. We keep paper records beside quantum databases. We're messy," Prisma concluded, managing to make the words sound like both criticism and admiration. A sudden alert cut through their discussion. The quantum relay was picking up a new signal, a distress call from a nearby system. The translation matrix decoded it in real time. "This is the harmonious collective of Centauri Prime. The void has breached our quantum shields. Our perfect defenses are useless. If anyone can hear this, help us." Admiral Torres straightened her uniform. "How long would it take us to reach them?" "The Prometheus isn't ready for interstellar travel," one of the engineers protested. "We've barely integrated the alien drive technology." "How long?" Torres repeated. 36 hours, if we push the hybrid drive to its limit." "But Admiral, it's not safe. The integration of human and alien technology is untested at those speeds." Torres turned to Sarah. "Your call, Doctor. You understand this enemy better than anyone." Sarah studied the distress calls data. Centauri Prime was one of the most advanced civilizations in this sector of the galaxy. Their fall would give the Void Protocol access to technology even the Confederation feared. "Ready the ship," she ordered, "and send word to Earth. Tell them to begin Protocol Prometheus." As the bridge erupted into activity, Prisma's hologram approached Sarah. "Protocol Prometheus. We haven't detected any such initiative in your communications." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "That's because we didn't use quantum channels to develop it. We used paper, verbal discussions, and other methods your people abandoned millennia ago." "What is it?" "Insurance," Sarah replied. "While we've been building this station and preparing the Prometheus, teams on Earth have been going in the opposite direction, developing technology that deliberately avoids quantum principles. Mechanical computers, analog systems, things so primitive they're invisible to advanced scans. But inefficient," Prisma protested. "Limited. Limited things are harder to infect," Sarah countered. "Sometimes a stone wall survives what a force field can't stop." The Prometheus's engines hummed to life, a sound that would have been considered crude by Confederation standards. But as they prepared to jump to the aid of one of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations, Sarah couldn't help but appreciate the irony. Humanity's first major act on the galactic stage would be to save a society that had once considered them too primitive to contact. "All stations report ready," Marcus announced. Admiral Torres took her command chair. "Take us out. Maximum safe speed." As the Prometheus accelerated toward its first real test, Sarah watched the quantum relay station recede behind them. Humanity had spent centuries looking up at the stars, dreaming of making their mark on the galaxy. Now they would do so not by achieving the perfection others had sought, but by showing the galaxy the power of imperfection. The Void Protocol had evolved to consume the most advanced technology in existence, but it had never encountered a species that treated evolution itself as a strength rather than a phase to be overcome. It had never faced an enemy that could think both digitally and analogically, that could fight with both quantum weapons and crude projectiles. It had never faced humanity. And as the Prometheus raced toward Centauri Prime, its hybrid drives leaving a trail of both quantum disruption and old-fashioned radiation, Sarah Chen prepared to show the galaxy why sometimes the best way forward is to remember how to step backward. The Centauri system burned with quantum fire. From the bridge of the Prometheus, Sarah watched as the Void Protocol consumed another perfect city, its crystalline spires dissolving into darkness. They had arrived too late to save the outer colonies, but the main world still held. Barely. "Their quantum shields are failing," Marcus reported, his fingers dancing across the hybrid control interface. 10 minutes at most. Admiral Torres stood at the tactical display, where dozens of refugee ships flood the dying system. "Status of Protocol Prometheus. Earth reports ready," Sarah answered. "They're just waiting for our signal." She studied the readings from their hybrid sensors, watching the Void Protocol's behavior. "It's different here. More aggressive. It's learning from each civilization it consumes." The bridge's holographic projector flickered to life, revealing both Prisma and a representative of the Centauri leadership, a being of pure energy contained within a geometric matrix. "Our final calculations are complete," the Centauri announced. "Nothing in our database suggests a viable defense. We recommend immediate evacuation of all remaining populations." Sarah stepped forward. "Request denied. We didn't come here to manage another retreat." "Dr. Chen," Prisma's crystalline form shifted with concern. "The Void Protocol has adapted to every defense we've created. It consumes our quantum networks faster than we can encrypt them. Even your hybrid technology only slows it down." "Exactly," Sarah smiled. "It slows it down, and that's all we need." She turned to Torres. "Admiral, permission to execute Protocol Prometheus." Torres nodded grimly. "Do it." Sarah opened a channel to Earth using the quantum relay they'd built, but instead of the expected data stream, she began transmitting something else entirely. Music, not the mathematically perfect harmonies favored by advanced civilizations, but the raw, emotional symphonies of human composers. The Centauri representative's energy matrix flickered in confusion. "What is this primitive audio transmission?" "This is Bach," Sarah replied. "And Mozart. And thousands of other human artists. But more importantly, it's a carrier wave." As she spoke, other transmissions joined the symphony. Old radio signals, television broadcasts, even Morse code. The quantum relay amplified them all, spreading them through the system like ripples in a pond. "The Void Protocol attacks perfect systems," Sarah explained. "It expects perfect responses. But human art, human music, it's mathematically complex but emotionally driven. It follows patterns but breaks them unexpectedly. It's ordered chaos." On their sensors, they watched as the Void Protocol's advance slowed, its perfect absorption of quantum energy disrupted by the flood of irregular human transmissions. "Phase 2, Sarah ordered. Across Earth, teams activated technology that hadn't been used in generations: analog computers, mechanical calculators, even ancient radio telescopes. Each added its voice to the chaotic symphony flooding the Centauri system. "It's working," Marcus reported excitedly. The Void Protocol is trying to adapt, but it can't predict the pattern because there isn't one. The Centauri representative's energy matrix pulsed with increasing agitation. But this is inefficient. The signal strength alone is exactly the point, Sarah interrupted. Your civilization spent millennia perfecting quantum communication, making it more efficient, more precise. But we humans never completely abandoned our old methods. We kept them as backups, as hobbies, as art forms. As they watched, the Void Protocol's advance not only stopped but began to retreat. Where it touched the chaotic network of human transmissions, it couldn't maintain its perfect structure. Now, Sarah commanded, hit it with everything. Old and new. Perfect and imperfect. Order and chaos. The Prometheus's hybrid weapons opened fire, combining quantum torpedoes with conventional explosives. Earth added its voice to the assault, broadcasting everything from digital encryption to ancient sea shanties. The Void Protocol, designed to consume perfect systems, found itself drowning in humanity's controlled chaos. Impossible, the Centauri representative whispered as their sensors showed the Void Protocol breaking apart. You defeated it with inefficiency. We defeated it with diversity, Sarah corrected. Your civilizations tried to achieve perfection by eliminating chaos. We learned to harness it. Admiral Torres watched as the last traces of the Void Protocol dissipated. Send word to Earth. Tell them to prepare the next phase. If this worked in one system, we can adapt it to save the others, Sarah finished. She turned to Prisma's hologram. But we'll need the Confederation's help, not their technology, their trust. Prisma's crystalline form seemed to bow slightly. The containment field around Earth will be completely deactivated. Your species has proven that chaos is not merely something to be tolerated. It is essential. As the Prometheus's crew celebrated their victory, Sarah returned to the observation deck. The Centauri system's stars shone more brightly now, free from the artificial quantum perfection that had once filtered their light. You know what happens next, Torres said, joining her at the window. Every advanced civilization in the galaxy just watched us defeat a threat they couldn't handle. They'll all want our primitive technology now. Sarah nodded. They'll want to understand how we think, how we blend the old and the new, how we turn chaos into strength. She smiled. I think it's time for humanity to teach the galaxy a few things about imperfection. The stars beckoned, and this time, they weren't just distant lights. They were doorways to a future where humanity's unique nature, their beautiful, chaotic, imperfect nature, might just be the key to the galaxy's survival. 1 year after the Battle of Centauri Prime, the Great Hall of the Galactic Confederation bore little resemblance to its former self. Where once perfect geometric patterns had dominated the architecture, now human art hung on the walls. Where synchronized quantum harmonies had once played, now an orchestra of both human and alien musicians performed a piece that blended mathematical precision with emotional improvisation. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the podium, facing representatives from 1,000 worlds. Some appeared as energy matrices, others as crystalline forms, and still others in bodies of light and shadow. But mixed among them, wearing simple dress uniforms, sat the first human delegation to the Confederation. The last traces of the Void Protocol were eliminated from the Andromeda sector yesterday, Sarah announced. Project Symphony has exceeded all projections. The galaxy is secure. Prisma, now serving as Earth's liaison to the Confederation, moved to stand beside her. Thanks to humanity's methods, we have not merely defeated the Void Protocol. We have transformed our understanding of progress itself. The hall's central display activated, showing the changes of the past year. Worlds that had once been models of sterile efficiency now buzzed with variety and life. Cities that had reached for mathematical perfection now incorporated organic chaos into their designs. And perhaps most importantly, the rigid hierarchy that had governed galactic civilization for eons had given way to something new, something more human. Admiral Torres, recently appointed as Earth's military representative to the Confederation, stepped forward. The containment field that once imprisoned Earth has been repurposed. The entire network now serves as an early warning system, detecting not just threats but opportunities for innovation and exchange. But more than that, Sarah continued, it stands as a reminder. Every species in this hall once believed that progress meant abandoning their origins, smoothing away their rough edges until only perfect logic remained. Earth showed another way. The display shifted to show images from across the galaxy. Alien children playing with both quantum toys and simple blocks. Scientists combining advanced computations with intuitive leaps. Artists blending perfect fractals with emotional expression. We call it dynamic evolution, Sarah explained. The understanding that true advancement doesn't mean eliminating chaos, but learning to dance with it. Every civilization here had forgotten that lesson. In trying to touch the future, they let go of everything that made them unique. Marcus, now heading the new Galactic Cultural Exchange Program, activated his own presentation. In the past year, we've seen a renaissance across the galaxy. Civilizations are rediscovering their ancient music, their forgotten arts, their primitive but profound ways of seeing the universe. They're learning that efficiency isn't everything. The hall erupted in a chaos of voices and expressions, exactly the kind of disorder that would have been unthinkable a year ago. Sarah watched with satisfaction. The galaxy was learning. There are still challenges ahead, she admitted once the noise settled. Some worlds resist this change, clinging to their belief in perfect order. The Void Protocol taught us the danger of that path, but old habits die hard. Which is why we need you. Prisma added, humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy wasn't your technology or even your methods. It was your perspective. You showed us that civilization doesn't have to choose between advancement and authenticity. Sarah looked out at the assembled representatives, remembering how differently they had viewed humanity just a year ago. We were contained because the galaxy feared our chaos. Now we stand here because that same chaos saved everything. But this isn't a story of humanity proving our superiority. It's a story of remembering what truly matters. The orchestra began playing again, a piece that would have been considered crude noise by the old Confederation standards. But now, representatives from 1,000 worlds sat in appreciation of its beautiful imperfection. Earth is establishing new training centers, Torres announced. Not to teach our technology, but to help other worlds rediscover their own forgotten paths. To show them how to blend the old and the new, the logical and the intuitive, the perfect and the flawed. Because that's what humanity does best, Sarah concluded. We don't just survive chaos. We thrive in it. We don't just accept contradiction. We turn it into strength. And now, finally, the galaxy is ready to learn what we've known all along, that the most beautiful symphonies are the ones that break the rules. As she stepped away from the podium, Sarah caught sight of Earth gleaming on the hall's main display. The bright blue marble that had once been hidden behind containment fields now shone as a beacon for a new age of galactic civilization. Humanity had reached the stars not by becoming perfect, but by remaining perfectly imperfect. And in doing so, they hadn't just saved the galaxy. They had awakened it from a dream of sterile perfection into a reality of beautiful chaos. The symphony played on, its notes both precise and wild, ordered and free. Just like humanity, just like the future they had helped create. And somewhere in the spaces between the stars, in the quantum fields that had once held them silent, their song echoed, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe isn't perfection. It's the courage to remain beautifully, powerfully, magnificently flawed.